Okay, we are recording.
Amazing. And I'm going to turn off notifications on my device because sometimes that's really annoying.
Good idea.
Okay. Hello, and we say a good day to each and every one of you. This wondrous moment of your time and your reality. As the Pleiadian Council, we speak on behalf of the Galactic Alliance and many other beings of the light who wish to support your planet in this grand process you call ascension. We first of all thank you, for it is an honor to meet you and co-create with you in this way. It allows you and ourselves to expand mutually in deepening our connection to Source. So, today we can begin with a brief message. Following up on last week's special guest, you had a visitor with you from Atlantis, connecting with the reconstruction of your planet and the deconstruction of the old systems that served to benefit some while harm others. In this new time, you can come to know that the truest calling of your heart will always be in direct alignment with the new phase of ascension, of love, of equality on your planet. As your heart, if it is naturally open, will always come to see everything beyond you as part of yourself, as part of who you are. And as you genuinely come to trust in the flow of your heart more, recognizing that what brings you a feeling of love, connection, expansion, and playfulness will allow you to deepen into your connection with everyone around you. The heart is where you discover what is most universal, that you are having the same qualities, the same proclivities, the same fundamental reality as everyone around you. And while you may often exist in parallel realities with many who share this earth plane with you, at a higher level, you are part of the same earth, same universe, same galaxy. And so are we. And we come reflecting to you that we are one with you, that we are not separate, and separation is the only illusion that creates all lies in your world. So, the fundament of our message is simple in that sense, that you must bring yourself back to this heart center and come to allow all actions and decisions to emerge from here. And as you do that, you will discover your oneness. And this is nothing new that we have shared. So today we want to focus on you and your questions even more. So whenever you wish, you may begin with your sharing, and we will do our best to reflect to you the loving wisdom of your own heart so you can come to trust it and live it and embody it. And through doing that, you activate all of these latent light codes, as you call them, that do tie into your galactic connections at soul level that are always, and we mean always, present. So whenever you wish, you may begin with your sharings.
So I have a question. I am just feeling a lot of kind of wanderlust, like I want to travel.
All right.
And yeah, and I have a lot of different kind of ideas. Um, but at the moment, I would like to have the finances to purchase a motorhome so that I could, have a home on wheels and just travel and visit my friends, um, especially in warmer climates, because the next shelter in place, I want to have mobility to move beyond Portland during that
Yes.
time. So I'm just wondering what you see in the timeline and the steps that I I guess my big thing is I'd like to have an online class that I can bring, that I can either that or another way that I can bring some finances so that I can buy an RV for
Yes.
traveling. So I just wondered if you have any comments on um, the ABCs of manifesting this goal.
Have you put into place any sort of outline for such a course?
I've written 4 different courses at this point with 4 different outlines. I
All right.
it's kind of like it feels like the impulse in me has to be overflowing with the knowing of rightness before anything coalesces and takes life on its own. So I kind of feel like I'm like this mother in the pre-womb, kind of putting together all these little DNA strands and all these little, and there's like this infusion that has to be added to it in order for it to really um, have a life of its own. Otherwise, it feels like the parts are just sitting passive
Well,
in like a laboratory. It's the best way I could describe it.
all right. Well, we understand it when you want it to feel right, though much of the time, or even most of the time, you never release all of the fear and resistance before you start doing it. Before you start doing that thing that represents your greatest passion and your joy. So it is okay if it doesn't feel 100% right, as long as you know your intent is good, that you have tools to share, and that you are innately worthy. The rest of the details work themselves out. And those degrees of resistance that can manifest into different stories of what it means, what it requires to be ready, will clear itself in the process of simply creating. And in your creation, embracing, accepting all possibilities, everything that could emerge from it. Not avoiding or fearing failure in that sense, simply doing it because there is a deep knowing that the only real expansion can happen through action, through expression.
Mm-hmm. I just I wish I could feel something alive. Even to take the first step, I don't feel like there's anything alive.
Yes. Well, why not? If you've already created something, isn't it real? Isn't it having an existence of some kind?
Yes, and I mean in my outlines, yes, the concepts of
Yes.
what I have written in those outlines, it is there.
And that is alive, yes.
That is alive.
Yes.
Suppose I should just ask which one of the, I think I have 4 written out, which one of the 4 wants to be given?
Number 3.
Number 3. You mean what the listed on my website? It's number 3. Okay,
Yes.
cool. That's good
Whatever
to
that
know.
means to you.
Okay.
And now that you have, in a way, uh, many you can test the waters with, you can see how they resonate with that outline and make adjustments to it before you launch it if necessary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just kind of have a free group call to talk about the outline and see what
Yes.
people think.
Yes.
That sounds great.
And remember that many of the best things in your world begin small. So there's no need to compare this to others doing similar work, because you are offering your unique medicine, your unique gifts to those that are uniquely drawn to what your vibration is about.
Are there a certain number of people that truly would benefit from the exact medicine that I bring?
Oh, we cannot say.
Okay.
There are many shifting variables.
Yeah.
Eventually, it may grow to be quite large, but we are saying accept exactly where it starts.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks to you as well.
Nicole, if you have a question, or Laurel, you guys can just go ahead and I'll see if there's any questions on Facebook as well.
Okay, I'll come in. So I'm having some concern about my my brain not working just right. Mild cognitive impairment, and it's affecting too much of my life right now. I I'm trying to do my taxes for the first time in my life, and fortunately, I had my brother to help me. But it's in a lot of things that's becoming very obvious. I think I talked about this once before. So fairly recently, I started lion's mane. I don't know that I'm taking enough. I'm also taking something for inflammation called theracurmin. It's a scientifically proven form of turmeric. I'm thinking that, there's on the bottle, it says to take the lion's mane twice a day. I'm only taking it once because I thought, well, I'll do the theracumin. It's actually called theracurmin, but it's turmeric once a day, and that normally should be taken twice a day. My body's pretty sensitive, so I'm already doing this smoothie with spirulina. And should I be taking both the lion's mane and the theracurmin twice a day instead of each of them just once?
Are we there?
Yeah, now I hear you.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, all right. We don't know what happened. The last thing we heard was on the bottle it says.
Oh, okay, thank you. On the bottle, it says twice a day for the lion's mane, and I believe on the bottle of the turmeric, it says twice a day. And I know
Yes.
my system is pretty sensitive, and these things are expensive. So I'm not sure if I should be taking both of them twice a day, or if I even need to. You know, if it's just okay to take the turmeric once and the lion's mane once, and anything else you might want to say about my cognitive.
All right. Well, it would benefit you to take it as suggested. With time, you may need less to get the same effect. Now, it is not simply a chemical experience. It also has to do with how you use your brain and where you focus your brain. So we would ask you, do you meditate or actively create artistically, or do any other such activity or permission slip that allows you to enter into a flow state or a trance state?
Sometimes what's happened, particularly with the COVID-19, is that I've gotten into this loop of doing things that my mind doesn't take too easily. And I went through so much to finally get my unemployment thing straightened out, understood, entered, and then there was anxiety about if I was doing it right. So that complicated the whole thing. And then, you know, it makes my cognitive less efficient if I'm also anxious. And then came the taxes, and those will be done on time very soon. But but these kinds of paperwork things consume me, and they're survival things. You know, I'm doing the
But are you
bottom
done
row
with those?
survival.
Are you done with those things now?
Just about, but now comes, if I want to be on the substitute teaching list, now comes jumping through the hoops of of that system, and watching the videos and trying to do everything on the computer that I need to do for that. Not good on the computer. So I keep getting in these places where I'm doing stuff that I'm just not good at, and I'm not using my natural ability to do things with my right brain, because I'm trying to survive and I'm trying to be quote unquote responsible. And it's not very responsible, I realize, not to do my joy.
Yes, you must understand that your state of being is of primary importance, and that your abundance in this sense is to be more or less accounted for, to accept that abundance is the ability to do what you need to do, and now you've got it all sorted for the most part. Understand that, yes, all of these tasks are things that challenge your human experience, though when you have less of an insistence on a particular outcome, when you are less attached to the results, when you are not focused with negative expectation, those tasks do become easier. And now, well, you may wish to get yourself on that list if it is important to you, and to teach in that sense feels exciting genuinely to you, but make your priority what feels good. Make your priority something that doesn't really engage your left brain. So contrary to what some of you may think, oftentimes reading spiritual books or spiritually studying things that involve a great deal of linguistics, even if it is oriented in a spiritual direction, often engage more of your left brain than your right brain. So what we are saying then is to focus on meditating, dropping into presence, perhaps painting, drawing, or writing, and simply playing. And beyond that, always being aware of your state of being. Is there anxiety present? And if there is, what can you do out of everything you would have the opportunity to do in that moment, that would shift you a bit from anxiety into joy and play? What could you do in that moment that would make you feel more relaxed? And of course, breathing deeply and accepting all that you are feeling is helpful as well. Though you must really, again, make your joy your priority.
Okay, and so that even though it looks like, deadlines in the survival world are coming up, I just trust that doing what brings me pleasure in the way that you're speaking will, um, the time will unfold and I will get these things done so I can take care of my body. And
Yes,
yes,
yes.
okay, thank you.
If you make those choices, and again, follow that guidance to live from your heart fully, bring yourself into your heart and choose what naturally lightens you, what brings you joy. And remember that the truth, the higher truth, will always bring about a sensation of freedom and expansion. It'll make you feel light. When you are focused on something negative, that is a partial truth, that is not the complete picture, that is more oriented in fear, it will make you feel constricted. So imagine that you are flying through life. Give yourself over to that trust and do all of those things that truly light you up and fill you with passion.
Right. And I do meditate, probably, I don't know, 4 times a week, something like that. And that does bring
Is it
me,
a meditation you enjoy?
yes, now that I've discovered the solfeggio frequencies, I'm enjoying it more because I'm doing one that I just really love. And
Oh, that is good.
yeah, it is. And sometimes I wonder though how much I need to be attached to doing it every day. And sometimes I feel guilty, but it's a little complicated because the other day I didn't do it when I really needed to. And I got in the, I've got to move ahead with toward whatever deadline. And I kind of fell apart. So it's a little confusing to me, but I don't want to end up feeling guilty when I don't do it. I mean, maybe, dancing would be better on a particular day rather than sitting and meditating.
Yes, you must ask and honor yourself. Ask yourself, what makes me feel the lightest, the freest in this moment? Sometimes when there is much anxiety, simply sitting still is not the cure for it. And moving and dancing and shaking does a better job. So make sure before you do some of these tasks that trigger you, you set yourself up for success by doing something that reminds you that your state of being is what's most important and allows some of that anxiety to shake loose from your being.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, our thanks to you as well.
Great. I've got a question from Nicole. And she says, hello, and thank you for your presence. I've become very interested in making flower essences, and I'm curious about the connection between flowers and fairies. Great question. I'm also wondering if the flower realm has any messages for humanity at this time. Thanks.
Yes. The flowers are very much homes for fairies. For one, each of the flower families has its own spirit, its own higher consciousness form. And you could consider that the plant itself is much the body for that undying spirit that you can always connect with. And so as you make these flower essences, you are emulating the vibration of that plant spirit and capturing it in this liquid potion. And then the liquid potion allows that vibration to carry into those who use the essence to, again, emulate the vibration of that spirit of the flowers and come to meet with them and integrate them, you can use this as a tool combined with this idea of journeying, shamanic journeying, astral travel, to meet the spirits of these flowers and interact with them, and know that, well, each of them has a very particular message for you. So yes, the flowers are very much homes and treasures for that fairy realm. And the fairies exist in this higher dimensional plane entirely, though everything that is physical has a higher dimensional aspect. And so what you experience as the earth plane around you has this non-physical, higher dimensional element to it, where the fairies can play and dance. They are infinite beings that are not born and do not die, though on occasion they can go through rebirth processes. However, they are still eternal in that sense. They have great love for you. And while many of these beings simply return the core vibration and energy that is bestowed to them. And so there are some in your world who can communicate with these fairies and know that there are places that are so sacred to them, they do not want humans to interfere. And there have been very many negative consequences when humans have interfered with these places that are so sacred and important to those of the fairy realm. So to meet with them, you may go out into your natural world and simply get in touch with the elements, get in touch with the wind, perhaps the water, perhaps the way that the leaves move. Bring your focus into all of those senses around you, and then also open your imagination. And perhaps you start to see lights and shows behind the scenes, or perhaps something appears to you only in your inner eye. The fairy realm can speak to you when you invite them in. And when you share with them gifts and thanks and offerings, they are much more attracted to you. So they do love these flowers. And in the sense that it's important to as well ask the flowers permission if they are ready to come with you or not. And you'll receive that response. It's a feeling in your body. The flowers' message to your world at a more universal level is to appreciate love and beauty. It is for you to slow down and to admire the great details that is in nature, to gaze closely and to listen with all of yourself. And of course, each flower has its own unique vibration and essence and teaching. For example, jasmine wishes to communicate with you much about your sensuality, that your sensuality is something lower pathway to higher consciousness. Jasmine wants to invite you to relax and enjoy everything that you experience and see life as a great game, as a great treasure. And of course, every flower will have its own unique teaching, and you will have your own unique connection with each and every flower. So allow yourself to pay close attention and know that it's a co-creation, and your own imagination can show you some of these realms. And as you open your senses up to connect as well with your imagination, uniting the two, information from this realm can be received quite easily. We hope that answers your question. If there are details you need us to fill in, please let us know.
Great, Nicole. She says, that's great. Thank you. We have a question from Yvonne. Yvonne is wondering, we already know the answer. She's wondering if the government is magnifying the danger of COVID-19.
Well, when you say the government, the answer must then be yes and no, because some officials in your government are downplaying the significance of it, while others are upholding that significance quite powerfully. So
Hi.
the media then, you can see as doing what the media does, and this is generally beyond COVID-19. The media gets money when you watch. The media gets money when you read articles. And what draws you in is intensity, whether it is positive intensity or negative intensity. Yet because your society has been so oriented towards focusing on the negative for so long, they make what is already apparently negative more intense so that it draws you in and they profit more. So most of these people are simply concerned with their profit. All of these people that have already amassed so much wealth as mainly interested in amassing more through whatever they're doing, to varying degrees of being well-intended or totally negatively intended. You can see that they're really playing you in many ways. As we have said, this is not to say that COVID-19 is not a threat, because it is to some, and to others, of course, you will recover quite easily. Though if you are truly operating from a place of love and oneness, you will also be cautious for those others. But ultimately, you know, or you may know, that there is nothing to fear when you know that death is an illusion, that death is a birth into spirit, and even these restrictions on your freedom that you are perceiving are, yes, temporary, and even if they would last longer than we currently see them lasting, you have the ability to thrive even with these restrictions. And restriction and limitation is often one of the greatest teachers of your own power. It shows you how to do more with less. And when you can do more with less, and then you return to a state of having more, you can do much more than you thought before.
Wow, that's beautiful. It reminds me of like a bow and arrow, because you're like pulling it back, and then when it releases, just this massive abundance and gratitude and
Oh, yes, yes.
appreciation.
That is a metaphor that other channeled friends of ours like to describe as the slingshot metaphor. That suppose you pull yourself in a slingshot very far back, the further you pull back into the darkness, when you release the tension and propel forward, the faster and further you move in towards the light. So know that this is massively what is happening now. You are using this COVID-19 to pull yourselves into global darkness, to propel forward into a greater age of light. So it is quite exciting then. If you use this as an exciting opportunity rather than a terrible limitation, you will thrive in these times.
Nice. Thank you.
Oh,
And
thanks to you as well.
Yvonne has one more piece of the question, and then Katrina, you can go ahead and ask your question in the chat or out loud. So Yvonne wants to know if there are herbs that can help with preventing or protecting us from the virus.
All right. To protect from the virus, we would encourage you to use ashwagandha and echinacea and astragalus. To combat the virus, if you contract it, we would encourage you to use golden seal, and again, echinacea and elderberry. And one moment, we're looking for that word, we see it. We cannot locate the word. Though there are other solutions that are not herbal, yet for certain purposes we cannot actually suggest them to you, though we can hint that they are little abbreviations, you could say. There are abbreviations for them, and they are chemical in their nature, but derived naturally. Oh yes, and the other herb is finally mullein, if you find yourself to have contracted the virus.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Oh, and she's wondering if these can substitute for wearing a mask.
Well, the mask is to prevent the spread of the virus.
Yes.
These herbs are to strengthen your immune system so that you do not get the virus. Understand the mask is also to prevent others from getting the virus as well.
Yes.
Of course, the masks aren't that helpful. They don't fully stop it. The virus can spread from two people wearing masks, but they do something. And if it does something, you ought to do it.
Yes, absolutely. All right, thank you so much. And
Yes.
Katrina has a question. It says, I received a download about using telekinesis by boosting some kind of energy, not using the mind, but the heart space.
Oh, yes.
And transport ourselves in space where the object has moved. Am I right? I'm not quite understanding it.
Yes. This is very much more accurate. For in a sense, you are shifting yourself into a parallel reality in which the locational variable of the object is different. So this is very much in alignment with this understanding that you generate your own experience of reality through shifting to parallel realities. So if you use the power of your heart field to shift into a dimension in which, again, the locational variable. So understanding that you think that objects appear in space, but actually location is more of a frequency of the object itself. As you come to realize that you can, yes, then shift into realities much easier.
Okay, great. And my good friend Stephanie has a question. She says, when will we see the release of med beds?
What is that?
Those are medical beds that heal all kinds of conditions that they use in recovering from secret space program. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you for clarifying.
Sure.
For there are many different sorts of beds. And you may see those released in through the shifting windows, somewhere between 7 to years of your time. Most.
Oops. I think I lost you, Dante.
Oh, can you hear us?
I lost you for a sec. I don't know if everyone did. Did you say within 7 to 10 years of our time?
7 to 20, with the current probabilities around 11.
Okay.
A shifting window between 7 to 20.
Cool. Is this connected with extraterrestrial contact?
Yes.
Great. Okay. There you go, Stephanie. Maybe 11 years. Oh, wow. Okay. So, she says holographic med beds for age regression and healing. Yeah, that's what you were talking about. Okay. All right.
To understand, there are astral dimensions that you can travel to. And we on our ships have technologies that are not necessarily beds, but they are healing chambers that you may enter, like flotation tanks in your world. And in these tanks, you may travel through very different parallel realities and also receive different frequencies. They are healing chambers that work on your astral body first, and then those changes transduce into your physical body.
How cool. Can we just like go to sleep before we go to sleep and say, please take me to a chamber and help heal this particular condition, or
Yes.
rejuvenate my DNA, or
Yes,
that's
having
cool.
that intention before you sleep and ensuring that you have a deep, restful sleep will certainly allow that transmission, that travel to occur.
Okay, cool. All right, there's a question from Jessica Rosengren. It says, hi, dear ones. I was listening to a person who claims he has been involved in secret space programs. Oh yeah, I just mentioned that. And he is talking about the Arctic Germans who did a deal with the Draconians. And these Germans, oh, let me see the rest of this. And these Germans, oh, sorry, one second. Yeah, there we go. It's a long question. Okay, I'm going to go back and just start again. I was listening to a person who claims he has been involved in secret space programs, and he is talking about the Arctic Germans who did a deal with the Draconians, and these Germans now have a colonization on Mars. When this person speaks about the civilizations he has met through his missions, he has very bad experiences. How can you be sure to not connect with these entities? And can you elaborate on these Arctic Germans and if there is a human colonization on Mars and or on other planets? Okay.
No. Simply put, no. This information is largely distorted. It is, in a way, a con. So there are not these human bases on Mars as per this moment, this parallel reality. And to answer about how to ensure that you do not connect with any of these negative entities, it is really about your intention and remaining in a positive state. When you focus your energy in a positive direction by clearing out your own negative belief systems and dropping away resistance, you ensure that positive energy will flow, strengthening the positive connections you have with other people who are oriented in a positive direction, tuning out of things that instill fear, understanding that even in the degree of negative circumstances that manifest in your world, you can have a positive experience of those circumstances. So oftentimes you will receive information about current happenings that is distorted and twisted in a fear-based direction. The same inherent truth can be met. Yes, you are aware that the temperatures on your planet are collectively rising. Though, what if this meant something different? What if you changed the meaning of this? What if you came to see this as, well, the more this happens, the more people will come to realize that we are affecting our environment. And the more this happens, the more people will be compelled to change. The more this happens, the more our Earth is changing, and we don't really know what that means, but we do know that we have the ability and the technology to adapt. When you use the same situation in a positive way, it doesn't have the same effect. Now, what we say about negative interference on an extraterrestrial level, again, your planet has been selected by the Galactic Alliance to undergo a process of ascension. There are negative timelines that are alternate versions of your planet that, if you are connecting with and resonating with this transmission, do not really apply to you, that do exist. And those negative timelines, again, don't really have much to do with this version of your Earth that you are on and the future timeline of your Earth that you are headed to, where, again, you have been selected by the Galactic Alliance that includes us and many other extraterrestrial groups who are working to assist your planet through this ascension process. And we are available for your contact on these other levels. We are supporting you in lifting your vibration into that of greater light, greater love, greater joy. And we are also, in many senses, allowing for our energy to be distorted by such channels who have a fear-based narrative in their own human psyche. Because again, when there is channeling, it is a combination between two frequencies, the frequency of the channel and the frequency of the being channeled. And so understand that every channeler is bringing through their version of Pleiadian, Syrian, Arcturian, whoever. And you must instead ask yourself, if this information was true, how would that make me feel? What would that imply my responsibility is? And does this information give me an excited solution to show up for that responsibility? And if it does not, that information is not really a higher truth and a true representative of the Ascension program. So you must be very cautious, because the best way for any of these negative beings to hijack you is to listen to information that tells you the lie that you are not more powerful than any non-physical or astral being. As an incarnate being in a physical body, your free will overrides that of any such astral interference. You are innately powerful, and anyone who tells you otherwise is telling you lies.
Great. Thank you so much.
Oh yes, our thanks to you as well.
Okay, looks like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and ask another, and Yvonne has another question about her sister. Says, found out she has some form of sarcoma. She does not want chemo or radiation. Will CBD oil be effective instead?
It will be effective, but it is not enough on its own. So first we speak directly to the emotional level, because these manifestations are always the result of belief systems that prevent the flow of self-love. So first of all, universal self-acceptance and self-love is the greatest key. And then that self-love must translate into a change of all behaviors. So you must go through a raw vegan diet to detox from such things that may cause cancer. You may or must do heavy metal detox protocols, even parasite cleanses for some of you. And exercise, sunlight, human connection, touch, and deep therapy in all of these senses is necessary. The CBD oil helps, turkey tail helps, reishi helps. You must, again, continue to research all of the different medicines that may work for tumors and take, yes, all of them. And understand that love and trust and acceptance is the greatest key. As you relax and come to love yourself and do everything, absolutely everything in your power to heal, you may have the opportunity to heal. And if you do not experience good results quickly, then doing both the natural treatments and as well the more mainstream medical treatments in conjunction may serve you.
Great, thank you so much. Katrina has kind of a funny question. I'm just going to see if there's anybody else who has a question here. Katrina's just asking about, she says, how do you guys feel about always answering silly or useless questions? How they could find happiness in always answering the same kind of stuff? I guess just,
Oh,
yeah,
all
do you
right.
guys get bored answering the same questions?
No, we are excited always to answer the questions that are most relevant for you. We would, in a sense, wish that people look back and really apply the teachings
Right.
to integrate them instead of, again, asking some of the same questions on repeat. There are personal ways that you can apply universal teachings. So if people really came to understand that, first of all, their purpose was to experience passion, joy, and excitement, and, well, rather, that passion, joy, and excitement is the pathway to be who they are, and simply being, simply existing is their purpose, then they could elaborate on that concept rather than asking simply, well, what am I here to do? They can come to understand, oh, well, what excites me is what I'm here to do. So, dear extraterrestrial angelic forces of light, how can I best follow my excitement? What is the way to do that? That would be helpful. That would certainly be helpful. And, well, beyond that, we understand that you as humans need to hear something many different times for it to be reinforced. So
Yes.
we are understanding of that very much. And we simply enjoy connecting because, again, by being of service to others, we are of service to all that is. And through service to all that is, we ourselves expand and grow and deepen in our source consciousness.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, our thanks to you as well.
Laurel, do you want to ask that question that you have?
Yes, I do. I'm wondering if I understood correctly when you were talking about a channel that's fear-based and that I'm going to start my video here just a minute. Yeah, so I'm puzzled about Pleiadians being channeled by fear-based humans, and because if I understood right,
Yes.
can't you just not be part of that process?
Well, if they want to connect with our energy and distort it through their belief systems, they have every right to.
I see.
Who are we to stop them?
Okay.
There will always be that unique personality behind it, and the energy of love and light that we carry. Though if they believe something and they have an agenda to push that, that will come through what we say, because again, it is a blending of energies.
I see. So the fact that they're curious at all about the Pleiadians probably means that some good could come out of it. And, you know, human beings are what they are. And as I,
Yes.
yeah, you don't always know
We
what.
wouldn't connect with those fear-based channels if it didn't serve expansion to some degree.
Right. And
Because again, we understand that some humans are fear-based in their nature and therefore are going to be more attracted to and more drawn to and resonate more with fear-based channels. But that plants the seeds of contact with extraterrestrials through the universal message of open contact that we always will bring through. And so it allows for expansion in a very sort of trickstery way.
I see. Thank you.
Yes, our thanks to you as well.
That is so cool. All right. Gleneth has a question about the effects of excess consumption of white sugar on the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies.
The tiniest bit of consumption of white sugar is excess consumption. Does that answer it?
Wow.
I mean, yeah, for me, I
It is-
think of white sugar as pretty poisonous. I really don't
It is
think
a
it's.
drug. So if you occasionally indulge in it, just notice the way that it creates that intense euphoria followed by an intense depletion. It demineralizes your body and it distorts your metabolism and it wreaks havoc, essentially. It is a havoc-wreaking toxin. That is all we can say about it.
Is like monk fruit sweetener and coconut sugar, are those quite a bit better?
Oh yes, that is much better. As long as it, again, is not so processed.
Right.
And it contains the minerals within it that allow for the integration of sugar. And hence, fruits and, yes, coconut sugar, honey, as long as, again, the honey is raw, unpasteurized, will allow you to use that sugar as energy rather than for the sugar to be basically a drug. And even with those things, again, remember your body can only process a certain amount of ingredients at a time. So you must make sure that your system has digested all of the fats, proteins, and complex carbs before you integrate the sugar from fruit.
Great. Okay. All right. There's a question from Emily. It says, is it possible to not use social media to promote an ascension business and the seekers will be able to tune into the frequency via anchoring through crystal grid instead? Is this communication available yet, or should we utilize the internet to contain our frequency within still as an ascension tool? I'm not exactly sure what she says. Emily, you want to come on Zoom with us and ask this question? I mean, I'm
We
wondering,
understand.
do you understand?
We
Okay.
can understand that we are open to dialoguing as well.
Okay.
So, actually, there are certain people that you will connect with deeper without social media, though it will be some time before everything in your world comes back online. So, it is important to be anchored in your physical world face to face as much as it is to be online, and to varying degrees in different moments. One side will serve more than the other. Now, we understand, for one, that the social media technology as it currently is has many pitfalls, and it is used in many ways that spread negative energy. But for this purpose, using it to spread love and care and higher frequency energies is extremely powerful, because there's an immense contrast between the negativity and the distractions that you often see on social media. So in order to do this effectively, you must change your relationship with this negativity. You must understand that you can use negative things in a positive way, and that things that bother you are making you aware of a negative belief in perhaps your powerlessness, or the powerlessness to change the state of your world. And you can be thankful for those negative bits of information, for making you aware of these beliefs and using that experience to change your beliefs. And then those negative things will no longer be something that triggers you, and will start to be something that you simply no longer prefer. And then moving forward from there, you will have that choice again. As we have once suggested, you can, if you find yourself having gone through such a great transformation that you really don't resonate with so many people that are still on your feed, you could say, that you make a new account, or that you remove many people that bring that energy that doesn't serve you, that you know the connection is stagnated. And you can also simply snooze or unfollow people that you don't really want to see, making your feed one of positivity. And again, giving thanks to the negative energy out there, because it is through the contrast of negative and positive energy that makes the positivity and the lightness and the joy so apparent in what you are sharing. And yes, of course, as we have said, it's very important to do your work in the physical world and anchor it in face-to-face connections as well.
Great, thanks so much. Okay, just looking here to see if there's any more questions. Anybody who has a question in the Zoom room, you're welcome to unmute.
Okay, I have another question.
Laurel, let's make sure that there isn't someone else.
Oh, okay. I don't know what the Zoom room.
Because I know Joaquim is here. We haven't heard from him. Angela is here. I just want to be thoughtful of everybody here. See if there's any more on Facebook. And then in a second, I'll give you the go-ahead, Laurel, if we don't have another one. Hold on.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason, I only have Emily's comments right now. So I guess that's kind of strange. All right. Okay. Yeah, it looks like, Laurel, you could go ahead and ask your question.
Awesome.
It is a low-key day.
It is.
Yeah, I'm concerned that in my larger community of friends, that people, and these are wonderful people with good hearts, but there's a part that I don't like that's being discussed more than I care to. I have feelings about what's being discussed, and that's called narcissism. And pointing to, this person is narcissistic, that person is narcissistic, this person has a personality disorder. And my mother had what I think was a personality disorder, and it was maybe not fully what one would think of in terms of a psychiatric diagnosis, but it was probably a form of personality disorder. And through her passing, the last week of her passing, and what I've come to find out more about myself in the meantime, I've come to really love her. And I just really don't like people labeling people as this person's narcissistic, stay away from them. And what can we do about this problem of narcissists and people with these personality disorders? And I'm not stepping out and speaking about it for the most part, and I don't know how to speak about it, but I realize that some people you need to stay away from. I get that part, but I don't get this pointing to somebody else thing.
Well, what we can speak to that is in alignment with what you are saying, first of all, is that you cannot forever avoid narcissistic tendencies. And actually, many of which who are described as codependent or empathic have hidden at their core narcissistic features. So with a lot of the calling out of narcissists, it is true that this person is displaying and is predominantly narcissistic. Yet at the same time, what the person calling out is not seeing is that they themselves are holding narcissistic tendencies and traits intact in their own right. So by making yourself and others aware that to an extent everyone is a bit narcissistic, everyone to an extent is a bit very amused, very enamored with themselves. and that this isn't fundamentally a bad thing, because you need to have, again, that degree of self-love, self-acceptance in order to live, really. Narcissism then becomes problematic when it goes unchecked. It becomes problematic again when you hold yourself so far above others that you aren't able to relate as equals, and that you place your needs as more important than others. So there needs to be more emphasis on how you can deal with narcissists. At the same time, the shadow of what you are saying is to deny that narcissists exist, and to deny that narcissistic qualities exist in people and in everyone. Because there is a truth to what everyone is saying. And what they are not getting is that, to an extent, they're displaying, or hiding rather, their display of the same narcissistic tendencies that are part of everyone. So again, the answer is compassion. Compassion for the narcissist, compassion for those who are calling out, compassion for anyone who is hiding and not aware. And again, in order to really move forward in clear ways, you have to let go of all insistence that people agree with you and that people stay in connection with you if you express something that they don't agree with.
Yeah, that's my
Well,
my
understand again that when you speak your truth, that is a natural sorting mechanism. The simplest
right.
way that now you are describing it in your world is your vibe attracts your tribe. But you will end up with the wrong vibe and tribe if you don't allow your truth to come forward. So if you are very stuck and set on being with a particular tribe, and therefore you don't change your vibe to a higher vibe, you will stay stuck and safe with this comfortable, familiar, low tribe, low vibe tribe. So again, as your vibe changes, your tribe will change too. As you change the core vibrational essence of your being, the people in your life will change. And allow it to be a revolving door. Of course, your blood family and those who have been able to maintain a deep connection with over periods of time are less subject to this rule. Your relationship with them may change as you change, but other people may be let go of. So don't be stuck and insistent upon them staying around. Instead, again, make your priority your state of being, and allow yourself to fly to the heights of the best state of being possible.
Yes, and I'm thinking that if I make it a personal message, that as after that last week when my mother was quiet, and then after she passed over the last 4 years or so, I keep seeing things in myself from time to time. I go, oh, that must have been how my mom felt. Oh, I have that too. And like, if I explain that to
Yes,
people, it won't be like I'm making them wrong. I've just had awareness.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that is one of the best ways to highlight the universal nature of these tendencies, is by speaking to how you've went from the journey from ignorance to self-awareness.
Yeah. And compassion, more
Yes.
compassion. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thanks to you as well.
Angela, would you like to ask your question? Do you want to? Oh, you're going to unmute. Okay, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, it's Angela. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
A bit distorted, actually. We cannot hear you.
Angela, are you talking right now? Are you speaking? Oh, she's
Can you hear
muted.
me?
Oh, now she's back.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you. It
Okay.
is a little bit distorted, but we hear you enough.
Hi, this is Angela. I wanted to say my partner for the last you there?
Yes.
My partner for the last 10 years or so, her name is also Angela, and our connection has been very powerful, to say the least. I've heard that we've had many, many lifetimes together, and I'm
Yes.
curious if it's very ironic that we have the same name and we're born in the same year, if that was a plan of sorts ahead of time, and if so, what do you see as our greatest gift at this time that the two of us can do together on this planet?
All right. Thank you. Yes, this was a soul plan. This was something that was prearranged by your individual higher selves and source in general to play a grand script for you of, in a sense, mirroring each other in the most perfect way. And that dance you have most likely already witnessed, that you often mirror each other. And as one person follows one pathway or one behavior, so does the other. Or likewise, you can mirror the opposite tendencies in each other. So the greatest thing for your growth is to mirror then the highest states of unconditional love, to know that you are to be together and also to be fully in love in your own right. So to open up to greater freedom within the relationship, if there are interests that one of you or both of you is not exploring because of the relationship or because of not wanting to disrupt the flow, you may wish to seek and expand and also embody more of what brings you passion uniquely. You may also find yourselves deepening into greater tantric explorations. You have witnessed some of this already, and there are deeper places to go. There is a deeper understanding of how you can use this orgasmic sexual energy to manifest intentions and to do great rituals together. And yes, there is also an expression of the power of love that the two of you share together. You must notice to some degree that when you are together and in the presence of others, you have an effect. And it is beyond that all cuteness that people see when they witness couples. It is an auric transmission of higher frequencies of love. And by becoming aware of this, you can really deepen in love with each other and allow others to come to tap into that love themselves. So we congratulate you on this grand, splendid journey you are on. Do you have any other questions about what we have shared?
Angela, you're muted. Are you there? Just
Yes,
wanted
no,
to.
we are complete. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome, yes.
Great. Joaquin has a question, and he says, there we go. What is the meaning behind birthmarks and mother's marks? Are they related to past lives?
Well, all of these marks mean something different through synchronicity, through the unique soul's purpose. Sometimes they are meant to serve a unique purpose, to serve as a talisman that grows in meaning over a lifetime. sometimes they do certainly connect with other lifetimes, birthmarks that have been there in other lifetimes. And sometimes they connect with injuries from other lives. Sometimes these marks can emerge and disappear. So as you connect with parallel reality expressions of yourself, and again, your past lives shift and change as you shift and change. So for a period of your life, as you're exploring a certain theme, you may manifest a certain mark or tendency or physical appearance. And as you shift your focus, you start to connect with other lifetimes, and hence your personality or even these markings can change as well.
Cool. All right, wonderful. And Katrina's asking, if we don't follow our highest excitement, do we end up in a worse world? What is the date limit to change? I guess she's saying, what is the time limit to change?
The time limit is now, and will always be now. So as long as you don't choose passion and joy now, every future reality that you experience will be one of greater challenge. Now, if you don't follow your passion and joy, but you remain in contact with these higher forces to some degree, you can manifest still an ascended version of Earth, but you may simply manifest a personal life experience that doesn't get the love and joy that other people are experiencing because you didn't choose to hop on the train with them.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I'm just gonna.
And again,
go ahead.
Every time you don't choose to follow your love and joy, the ability to hop on to that train becomes harder, more challenging.
Wow. Okay.
Which is why we say now. Yes, now. It is always
now. Now. Good. Okay.
Now.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to see. It seems like I've lost the feed where all the comments were. I have so many times. Let me just go back and see if I can find any more comments on Facebook. Okay, I don't see any there. It's weird. My comments have kind of disappeared. I have one question more about channeling, actually. Yeah, I'm just, I feel like I'm mostly channeling my higher self right now when I channel. And I'm wondering if I have the potential to actually connect, with groups of star beings and be an accurate and clear channel.
But you already have channeled different star beings, yes?
I guess. I mean, I'm not exactly sure because my Andromedan self is so present in my earthen body that it's hard to make a real distinction of which one's which.
Trust what comes through you. Because again, remember, to an extent, you are one with all of these beings. And the more that you channel for others and you receive that validation, that mirror of the shift in your energy and the shift in vibration that they feel, the more it will seem real to you. So you are doing everything right, and you will only improve. And you simply must, again, for the moment that you are channeling especially, and hopefully whenever you are focusing upon this idea as well, set aside your doubt. Imagine that there's a little box in the corner and you just stuff the doubt in there and the doubt becomes very small. In fact, once you stick the doubt in it, you can shrink the box to become so tiny it is invisible. And then simply focus on what you're doing, what you're channeling, allowing the beings to come through and speak through you and connect with you. And then know that if you want to open that doubt out of the box, you can do that later. But for the moment, especially when you are channeling, you shrink the doubt and you simply put it in that box and you become familiar with that box and know that you can always put things that cause confusion in the box and sort them out later when you really feel prepared.
Great. Just a little side note. It says that Dante's bandwidth is kind of low. Now it's coming back. Okay. Yeah, your picture got small for a minute. Our
Oh, it
signal
is likely
today.
the rain and the clouds and all of the things happening
Our
in this
signal
location.
today is kind of shaky. Okay, so the message is to just keep, keep doing it. I don't really, like when I ask, who is this? I don't really know which star system is coming through. Is there one that prefers me more than another?
Well, the Andromeda, as you know.
Yeah.
The Lyran has a strong connection with you as well, and the Pleiadian.
So I just kind of see what comes through and deliver what,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
And if you are getting the message that it is simply your higher self, then share that. And if you are getting the message it comes from a certain source, then share that as well.
Okay, right now I'm making a bunch of people panelists. I'm going to have to ask them to start their videos. So everyone
And how
who
much
I'm
time are we
making,
having left?
we have about, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes at this point.
Oh, all right.
So I've got a few people that I'm just bringing into the room. And so we'll see if I can make everybody a panelist. So I'm going to give you guys your video, and you're welcome to unmute and just we'll just popcorn it. Whoever comes on in asked to start video. All right, and one more person asked to start video. Okay, everybody should have their video and audio capabilities. So if you want to, Denise, I need to give you your video. Today's an interesting day because somehow in the settings I made it so I have to ask people to use their video, which is not normal. Okay.
All right.
So here we go. Everybody has use of their video and their mic. So go ahead and unmute. Or if you want to type a question in the chat, that's fine. Mally, would you like to type a question? Okay. Looks like Denise and Mally are Mally's going to ask.
I can read it.
Hello, yes.
So my question was how to disengage with unconscious connection or maybe agreement, I don't know, that we have with the lower vibrational beings or energies that create negative or difficult experiences. For example, through nightmares, I have this happening a lot for years, and I explored in so many different directions, and I don't know why it keeps on manifesting. It's a feeling like there were some agreements or something, or these beings are creating a lot of fears and stress, and it's like it's feeding on energy because I wake up super tired.
Yes.
So that's my first question.
All right. Have you done sort of dream work where you go back into the dream state in more of a hypnotic state or a trance state?
I do this sometime after I wake up, and then I go back into the dream, but I feel very, almost like I'm drunk sometimes. You know, when I wake up at night in these states, I feel a bit confused and it's difficult to manage, but I've never done this outside, like during the day, of going back in this dream.
So doing it in the day when you are a bit more conscious is sort of like a way that you bring the light into the darkness of the night. So first of all, bring yourself into a relaxed state where you can simply allow your body to drift. Meditate for a moment. It's ideally done laying down. And first connect into a sacred place for you. Imagine yourself in a beautiful place in nature and develop a strong ally, perhaps with an angelic force or another force you have known to be a guide for you. And then with that guide at your side, bring yourself into the reality of the nightmare and allow yourself in that more conscious state, in that more lucid state, to confront that entity and ask who they are and why they are there, and use the power of your guide as a protective force that can shield you. Know that when you are focused on positive energy and love and connection, or even bring a talisman that represents it, one such that the channel uses very much for this purpose is the Om symbol, representing that pure source connection, holding that in your heart and around your aura to meet this negative entity and ask why. Again, why are you here? And what agreement do we have? Say it to them very clearly, I do not consent to this. And change the dreamscape into one in which you trap this entity and force it into some sort of crystal or box or trapdoor, and let them know that when they are ready to return to source, your guides will help them do that. But until this point forward, you do not have permission, or rather they do not have permission to interfere in this way. And you may do this dreaming practice with many of the nightmares you have had, and understand that there may be different facets of this being. And as you do this, it will, again, prevent them from continuing to do this. The more you come to trust in these ally guides and consciously enter into the dream state while you are awake and aware, the more control you will have in the dream states themselves.
Okay, that's very interesting. I will do this.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And you may also like to place beneath or around your bed black tourmaline and amethyst, if that is something that resonates with you, as these energies are dispelling to the negative energies.
Okay, I actually already have those stones around my bed.
Yes. And are you working with them? Are you consciously connecting with them?
Not always. I should do like a night bedtime ritual with them.
Yes. Imagine that purple and black light pouring into your aura through all of your chakras and creating a field of energy around you. That this purple soothing color can keep you nested and cocooned in love. And as you fall asleep in remembrance of that beautiful soothing energy, as you go through your dreamscape, you can channel that energy into any beings that you meet.
Okay.
Great. It looks like, Christina, would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, hi, Christina.
Hey, Dante. Hey,
Hello,
Pleiadians.
yes.
And we talk again. This time I have a question regarding commerce and trading, meaning, for example, if I'm buying, for example, goods and I'm adding an extra price on it and I'm reselling it,
Yes.
it's this interfering with my karma? Or I'm asking this because a friend of mine is believing that this brings bad karma to you, and that's why I'm asking, because I'm a little bit unsure. So maybe you can put some lights on this.
No, this is not inherently bad. There are, of course, ways that you could do this that are very distorted. Though understand that the act of making something accessible to people that it may not first be accessible to is providing a service that is deserving of an energy exchange, yes?
Yes, a product, it's an energy service, I guess. I know,
Yes, it
maybe
is an
candles. I'm
energy
selling
exchange.
candles. Yeah, I'm buying
Yes.
for a lower price and I'm selling them from a higher price.
Though you are getting the lower price because you are buying more of them, yes?
Yes, yes, that's it. Yes.
And so you are not really interfering in any way. You are simply, again, making something accessible to people. They would have to buy very much of it to get it at the price that you were getting it for.
I don't know. It's like I was thinking about Amazon. So because it's like everyone trades on Amazon. So basically,
Yes.
it's a platform, yeah, where we can, I know you can buy the goods with a lower price from China and you can resell it with a higher price on Amazon. And do you mean that's important, the intent, yes, behind
Yes.
the selling the goods?
Yes.
If you intend to make money, that means it's not a good intent, right?
Well, money is a neutral energy.
Okay.
If you are intending to make money to take control over other people and trick them, that is a bad use of money. If
No,
you
if you just intend to
are
make money.
intending to make money to take care of yourself and to live your
Oh,
life and
yeah,
to heal yourself and others, then that is a good use of money. And then
yeah.
money is a positive energy.
Okay, yes, that was the second part. Okay, okay.
So again, you must understand that as long as you are not impeding upon others' free will and that you are offering them something that serves them, then money is a positive thing. And whatever people are freely willing to give is wonderful. What they are willing to exchange is wonderful. So understand that you have inherent worth, as does everybody, and it is fundamentally a good thing for you to be able to meet your needs with this current system in place. While there are very many negative aspects to the system, being able to live and thrive is a good thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe if I'm bringing up this subject, I think, and this is my last question, and it's fine for for today,
All right.
regarding the money kind of struggling. I guess there's something in me. I have a belief maybe regarding money. That's why I'm, I know I'm not having my own business, or I'm not working or having a job which I really enjoy. Maybe can you help me put some kind of directions or give me some insights so I can look
Well,
upon?
what do you believe about money? What do
I
you
think
believe
no,
about it?
it's like hard to get maybe, or it's like if you have them, if you have them, how is the best way to use them? Or maybe if I have them, other people are jealous on me because I have them, you know. But I know it's wrong.
So you would say, to an extent, you are believing money is a bad thing.
It's like a necessary thing in our
All right.
world.
It's a
Yeah.
necessary thing, but it
Yes.
is a burdensome thing.
Sometimes, yeah, I feel
Both
that.
getting it is bad and having too much of it is bad.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah.
Well, first of all, understand that with any belief, something that makes you feel constricted or trapped or slowed down is always a negative belief and is always valid, but a lie. It is a valid lie. It is a partial truth. The higher truth will always bring you to feel free, liberated, and able to move freely and even fly. And again, for one, money is simply energy. It is what allows you to do what you need to do. And so it is a very powerful form of abundance. Though it is a paradox in a sense, for truly it is a similar vibration to what in higher dimensions is love. Love is really the energy through which you manifest. Whether it is love for all or love for self, it is love that brings manifestation. And in higher dimensions where there is no physicality, we experience everything through love. The amount of love we pour into our desires and our intentions is what allows these things to manifest. However, in your dimension, the tool of manifestation is money. But that makes money a very similar vibration to love. And so if you come to love money, not for having it, but for what you can do, the positive things that you can do with it, understanding that the ability to create is a very powerful expression of source. And when you give yourself the power to create, you are filling yourself with greater love. The paradox is then that the way that money has been constructed on your planet has been out of fear. In fact, the system itself emerged from fear. The fear of an unequal exchange led to this distortion of money, and a fear of having not enough led to people taking control of others. So money, in this sense, is created in a way that often divides you, but it does not have to be this way. You don't have to allow it to divide you. When you give freely what you have to those that inspire love in you, and you receive freely from those who are willing to exchange with you that energy of love. So money is something that serves your development. And again, those who may become jealous of you if you have more are, again, much like we said earlier, not the tribe, not the soul group that really serves you. Because people who love you unconditionally will want you to do well. And anyone that falls away is not really there to lift you up.
Okay. So, from your perspective, I had the sense that I have to just go work on the second chakra or third chakra. I think there's an imbalance, and because of that, I cannot just move forward and
Yes.
just look at the money from other perspective.
Yes. See it from a higher perspective and simply see it as the energy that allows you to do what you need to do. As this connects with chakras, well, it does connect with both of them. First of all, in the solar plexus, it has to do with your own sense of self and seeing yourself as worthy of receiving. This also connects in with the heart, feeling money as simply an energy of love. Imagine behind you there is a great, beautiful guide that is holding their hands and into you. And then imagine that they are also putting wondrous coins and gold into your heart as well. Imagine yourself being filled with love and money simultaneously, open to receive. And of course, this sacral chakra, as you described, has much to do with being in the flow, letting go of your fear of having or not having, of losing or taking too much, and simply flow. Allow yourself to be fluid and understand that here sensuality. To fill yourself with this energy is like allowing yourself to take in all of the sensual pleasure of your world. So opening yourself to feel, to flow, to experience life as a pleasure-filled roller coaster of joy and ups and downs, and knowing that every time you take a downturn emotionally or financially, it is only preceding an upturn if you let go of resistance that may slow you down.
Okay, perfect. So if you go in this flow, it's like it's fine. You don't have to release all beliefs. It's like with being in this flow, you can release all beliefs, right?
Yes, you will release
So
them through the flow.
yeah, okay. So this will
But you
pass. So I
have to
can
really focus upon the positive belief. You have to continuously look for ways that money serves you, and that it is good that you have money, and that abundance is simply a magical way that you get things done, and a beautiful way that you can bless others and be blessed by others.
yes, yes. Thank you so much, Pleiadians. Thank
Oh,
you.
a great thanks and love to you as well.
Love to you back. Bye.
Thanks, Christina. We've got some noise in our background. So I've got a question from Joaquin. He says, I read the book where some people channeled Ra, the Egyptian god. He was talking about harvesting souls on earth after some time. Can you explain a little bit more on this topic?
We see this teaching as one that has again been distorted through the channel at the times, fear-based beliefs. Or yes, so we do not really support or condone much of what has been shared here. The one aspect of this that we do support is this idea of service to self versus service to others, and that if you are simply generally more aligned with service to others, you are more oriented in a positive direction. And to serve yourself above others is generally what you would consider a negative form of evolution. The idea of densities explored in this teaching is as well relatively accurate, though there is much of this teaching that is fear-based, and this idea of a harvest of souls is such an idea. What we would instead say is that you are continuously raising in vibration, and again, your earth is splitting into parallel realities. So those of you who are focused and oriented towards love, or that idea of service to others, are shifting to a version of your earth that is totally service to others oriented. And those of you that are focused on the service to self or negative polarity will experience that as your version of earth. So back at the time of those teachings, there was less of a clear direction of the earth plane. And so in a sense, this teaching served at that time to get people moving in the direction of service to others and oriented in a way that a positive earth plane could manifest. It has served its purpose, and now much of that teaching is better to disregard.
Great, thank you so much. I think Yvonne is wanting to have some guidance with working with her dreams and working with decoding the symbolism in her dreams, if you have any suggestions on that.
The first realm to explore is your feeling state. So how do you feel emotionally in your dreams? And when you can get in touch with that emotion and again drop away the resistance to it, come to ask yourself, well, in what other areas of my life do I feel this emotion? Where does this emotion predominate my being? And if you can draw a connection between those occurrences and events of your life and the occurrences and events of the dream state, see how the symbolism or the characters have a parallel meaning. So again, your dreams can serve many different purposes, and sometimes they'll just serve one purpose, and sometimes they serve all of them. One is such that they allow for a rehash of what you experienced in that day, and that occurs more often when you are not taking aside the time to be really present and drop into deeper states of consciousness throughout the day. Also, the dreams serve to allow you to decipher the deeper meanings of your psyche and experiences that are ingrained in generating belief systems and so on and so forth. And we believe that is more of what you were talking about, though there's also another meaning and a purpose of the dreams, rather, in which the dreams allow you to meet with guides, meet with other beings, other forms of consciousness. So knowing that dreams serve all of these purposes will serve you in deciphering them. And yes, exploring the feeling state. So like we said to somebody earlier, to go back into your dreams and re-experience them consciously will help you even more. To remember the dreams. And as you continue to tune into those feelings in your dreams and notice where those feelings are held in your relationship to your external reality, you can start to decipher which belief systems generate these feelings. In which way do my unconscious fears continue to make me experience reality in this way? And your dreams are pointing you to discover that in one way or another. And they work with collective meaning and individual meaning. So you must really ask yourself, what do these symbols mean to you? If you see a spoon and a fork in your dream, what do those symbols really mean to you? Everyone, based on their own experience, is going to have a unique meaning as to what those symbols really mean.
Great, thank you so much. And Andrea, would you like to ask a question? I think you just joined us. We're gonna probably close if we don't hear we'll do one more question. Okay. I think we are complete for today.
All right.
Thank you.
And we close again with this understanding then, because it ties in many of these last questions, that your reality is fundamentally neutral in its meaning, that you generate meaning out of it. Even these ideas of ascending to these higher planes versus going into a more negative state, you decide how that means. And you decide how every experience and every energy and every symbol means to you. So allow yourself to see every belief and every thought and everything that you come to judge about your reality as optional. Again, remember, when you think something or perceive something, ask, is this really true? Am I really seeing this from the right lens? Imagine then you are seeing it from our perspective, from our eyes, as an extraterrestrial being who has not experienced physicality in many lifetimes, and look down at what you are seeing. If you come to know us a bit, you can come to see that we see it all as a light game, a dance of contrast, and the shadows help you to see the light more clearly. The negativity allows you to focus more on the positive, and anything negative or any negative influence can be transmuted and mitigated when you use it in a positive way and choose to follow the flow of your love. Know that, again, you are inherently worthy beings. You deserve everything you desire. You have the potential to manifest your greatest dreams if you believed it to be so. And anyone who tells you otherwise is deceiving you. So trust in yourself, trust in your power to create. We love you all very much, and we thank you for participating in these transmissions and these interactions. And we encourage you to be free in the way that you continue to co-create your experience, allowing love to flow unconditionally and freely, and seeing everything as an opportunity for growth. For there is nothing, there is no challenge that is not truly just that, an opportunity for growth and expansion into greater love and joy.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thanks, everybody.
Put our gallery view here. Most people don't have their videos on. You guys want to just bring your video to say hello? I figured out,
Hello,
Dante, I
everybody.
figured out I have to ask them to start their video when it's on the particular setting. So that was good.
Yeah, I don't know what that setting's all about.
I'm naked,
Am
so
I
if I
sideways
start
right
my
now?
video, then I kind of have to hold my phone very precisely.
Okay, you can
above
stop
my
your
neck.
video, Denise. You're funny.
Being naked is the best. I've
But on
definitely done
Facebook-
sessions.
Oh,
I've
go
definitely
ahead.
done sessions without pants on.
I
I
have
prefer
too.
my video
I've done a
off,
channeling
but-
session totally naked before.
Yeah,
It's good.
it's great.
Oh
Thank
my
you,
gosh.
Dante.
That was sweet. That was good. I'm definitely going to go back and listen to that one. Lots of good info, especially on money,
Yeah.
beliefs around money. I'm going to really watch that part.
We all deserve abundance. Things are shifting. The meek will inherit the earth. The poor shall become rich. I really feel it happening.
Whose phone is someone's? The
Ringing.
abundance phone is ringing. It's calling us all.
The abundance phone is ringing. Ring-a-ling-a-ding-dong.
Ring-a-ling-a-ding-dong.
Ring-a-ling-ling.
You just won $10,000. Na 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 na.
Oh yeah, it's so true.
No taxes needed.
No.
All right, sweetie. Well, it was a little bit small today, but we yeah, we made it
I'm
work.
sure people are going to watch it later. I think it
Cool.
was a good one despite being small. I
I
don't
do
know.
too.
I think it's Mercury is stationary, so or it's going to be stationary soon. So that's kind of like a little pause moment, like switching gears. So
Yeah, switching
maybe
gears.
that's part of it.
Yeah,
Last week it was really full, but I think that might have been because of the cosmic events as well. It
yes,
motivated a lot
you
of
had the
people to tune in.
eclipse, and then you had the guest, and then you had the guest host, and
Yeah, it was an exciting one. Did you watch it?
I did. It was
Did you
awesome.
like it?
I did.
Oh, good.
It was a great
Yeah,
one.
good. Yay.
All right, loves. Well, let's say
I
goodbye.
love you all very much.
Love you
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye.
Catch you all next time.
All
Mucho
right.
amor and
Same
blessings.
bat channel, same bat station. Bye.
Adios.
Adios.